Hi, my name is Dr. tadhg.blommerde and I'm an assistant professor or senior lecturer at Northumbria University in the northeast of the UK. The purpose of this brief video is to tell you about how I'm using generative artificial intelligence, or GenAI, in both teaching and assessment for my research methods module. It's a second-year undergraduate module, and I'm hoping this video will provide some helpful ideas, inspiration, or information for educators about how they can effectively integrate this new technology into their teaching and help prepare students for their future careers where they're very likely to be using these tools. If your experience of teaching at university is anything like mine, you're swamped with inauthentic and questionable submissions from students that mostly fail to demonstrate a convincing understanding of module materials. This very obvious and bad cheating, mostly using ChatGPT, was the reason that I decided to redesign my module to better test students' understanding of module materials and show them how to use GenAI tools properly and in a way that would generate an output that made sense and was useful to them. The last time my module ran, students had to submit a 1,500 word research proposal on a topic of their choice. The purpose of the assignment was to demonstrate their understanding of module materials by identifying some research gap that could realistically be addressed by an undergraduate project and propose a credible and cohesive methodology for doing so. Sadly, there were very few good or credible submissions from students. I think many just went to ChatGPT, typed in write a 1,500 word research proposal and submitted the output without reading it. This was a bit disheartening, as not only were students not demonstrating an understanding of key module concepts and ideas, they weren't harnessing the power of this amazing new technology. Really, there are two ways of responding to GenAI for universities. Go back to basics and have written exams for every module in halls where no phones or computers are permitted, or embrace the bots, training students to use them as effectively as possible while asking them to think critically and analytically about what GenAI produces. In my view, the second option is much better, as there's no putting the genie back in the bottle, and the ability to use GenAI effectively is becoming a key employability skill that can save time with routine tasks and free up graduate attention for higher level tasks for which a human brain is required. So in response, I decided to make a major redesign to my module. For the assignment, I give them a 500 word prompt that consistently produces a somewhat acceptable research proposal with all GenAI tools. The only part of the prompt that they write is what they'd like the topic to be. I encourage students to be creative here. They can enter as much detail as they like, replacing the squared brackets with details of what they'd like the proposal to be about. For instance, they could just enter factors that influence phone selection. Or they could enter an interpretivist study that explores what factors influence the selection of phones by Northumbria University students studying business and entrepreneurship in 2024. Depending on the detail of the text replacing the squared brackets, the GenAI could propose a vague or ambiguous project, or one that is credible and achievable for undergraduate researchers. I give the students their own rubric to mark the GenAI output and make it clear that they should support the assertions about the mark and critique with literature on the module's reading list, or anything else that they want to cite that they believe is relevant. The assignment is submitted using this template. In this box, students enter the GenAI output. Here they have 1,000 words to mark and critique the output. And the final part of the assessment is writing a reflective statement on using GenAI for a complex task, like writing the research proposal. In the seminars, I direct students towards university resources that overview some of the limitations or drawbacks of GenAI, including hallucinations, wrong answers, inaccuracies, or out-of-date claims, fake references, or the absence of creativity or critical thinking. However, I say to students that they should try to be more original than simply using these when they reflect on their experience. That's just the assessment. Across the module, my intention is to train students in using GenAI in 5 of the 12 seminars. The first of these sessions was this week, and I think it's fair to say it was a resounding success. The session built on material from the previous week, but asked students to justify our research design. In the primary activity, a fake firm is described. They want to evaluate the impact on recruitment and retention of a career break scheme. Instead of using their brains and understanding, students are asked to use GenAI to make a recommendation about whether a positivist or interpretivist approach would be most suitable. However, before they used GenAI for the activity, students and I had a conversation about what they know about GenAI and how they've used it in the past. A few students said they just refer to the tool. I used ChatGPT for that assignment. And some great volunteers who will never be identified by me spoke about how they used various tools to write some or all of previous assessments, what they did, and whether they passed. I provided students with a good list of various GenAI tools and allowed them to use whichever one they wanted for the task. The objective was to get a recommendation about whether a positivist or interpretivist paradigm was most appropriate for the research objective. When designing the session, I expected that students wouldn't be able to get GenAI to make a recommendation, as it equivocates and provides the advantages and disadvantages of each, but won't get off the fence. I joked when students were trying to get a recommendation, did anyone try? If someone put a gun to your circuits, which one would you choose? After that, I present and explain the prep and edit framework recommended in Fitzpatrick et al., the AI classroom, the ultimate guide to artificial intelligence in education. As the university library only has one copy, I got my own on Kindle for about £8. This structured and comprehensive way of writing prompts, where the student specifies the purpose of the prompt, the voice or the role the output should have or represent, the explicit instructions that the GenAI should be given, and the parameters or boundaries of the output, is a great framework for organizing prompts. When students wrote their prompts according to the prep part of prep and edit, lo and behold, we've got a recommendation. I demonstrate my prompt written according to the framework, and students can see we're able to arrive at a recommendation for an approach informed by an interpretivist paradigm. The feedback from students has been brilliant. With both of the sessions I ran, students came up to me afterwards and told me how different, interesting, and relevant the seminar was. My next step is to collect data from students about their thoughts on the revised module and what could be done to make it even better. This is just an experiment, but so far so good. There are 4 more seminars where I plan to help students enhance their ability to use GenAI and explore the limitations of this technology. In my view, the module has become more useful to students and is among the first that I'm aware of which uses GenAI, something that students might have felt that they had to be secretive about in the past. My hope is that all students will pass my module this time and progress with their studies and in their careers with the useful skill of using GenAI effectively. Thank you very much for your time and interest in watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in anything I said, or would like a copy of the assessment brief or slides referred to in this video, please don't be shy. I'd love to learn about how you're using GenAI with your students, or if you have any other ideas, suggestions, or comments. My email address is in the description, or you can comment below. If you found this video useful, yeah, I'm gonna say it, like and subscribe, as I'm almost certainly going to provide updates about how this module develops. Thank you.